Hey, Hen,
Yes, ma'am.
will you please share with us what is taught from the spiritual side of life in regard to taking responsibility for our actions or things that we've done?
I don't know what you mean by spiritual part of life, but
Well, from the spiritual side, like
the ascended masters.
the ascended masters or the teachings,
not really
as far as I know. But some people,
not really spiritual side, but the ascended masters teach us.
right?
And it's found in the Bible too. Remember in the Bible, Jesus said, this is one of my favorite lines, and of course this is the ghetto version, right? But then he said, first take the plank out of your eyes before you take the speck of dust out of your neighbor's eyes. What do you think that means?
Well, that means that your perception could be distorted because you've got something stuck in your eye. But when you remove it, you may not even see anything wrong with your neighbor.
Oh, that's really profound. I've never heard that one before. I didn't even think about that. That's a good one. I'm not.
So what does it mean then if that's that
way?
way?
You go to it, they explain it that way. No, that's a good one. It really is.
No, before meeting you, I never heard that before.
And you're a better Catholic than I am. So how is that possible?
I don't know about being a better Catholic. I may have prayed maybe a little bit more than you, but
Boy.
that doesn't make me a better Catholic.
Anyway, no. What we were taught in religion school or religion class, right? We have to study the Bible inside out. Is that what that means is when we're looking at somebody, we always find things wrong. Okay, they're always doing things wrong, but we're perfect. And what Jesus is saying is, you have a plank in your eye, meaning there are a lot of things wrong with you. That's why it's a plank. Right?
Okay.
You have so many things that you have to fix. Fix those first before you go and try to remove, listen to this, a speck of dust. So what you think is a huge deal with your neighbor is not. You're the one that has the huge deal. You just don't realize it because you're not taking responsibility for your actions.
Wow. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's written in the Bible. So even before, and Jesus is an ascended master, by the way, but that's in the regular Bible. That's not even something we have to go outside of the Bible to find.
Right.
So if we live by that, then what should we be doing? We should focus on us. Pretty much what Jesus is saying is focus on you. Don't try to change other people. Okay, don't try to find things wrong with other people. Or don't try to think that they've done something wrong to you. Because in reality, whatever it is you think they've done, or whatever you think is wrong with them, it is so minuscule compared to what is wrong with you. Because they have a speck of dust and you have a plank. You know what a plank is, right?
I do.
So compare the two, right?
Right.
Again, this is not me saying this. This is what Jesus said.
Okay.
So building on that, then the ascended masters teach us that because of the law of karma, and again, some people might not accept karma as part of their lives, but you asked me about the teachings and what the ascended masters teach.
Right.
Before we're born, we have this contract that we sign. We tell our guides and our masters and the ascended masters, we're going down there in this lifetime and this is what we plan on accomplishing. So whatever I need to accomplish these things, I'm open to it. And they said, okay, here are the things that we'll put in place for you so we can help you accomplish what you're supposed to in this lifetime. That's people call their purpose, right?
Right.
So they put them in place. However, because we pass through that veil of forgetfulness, meaning now we have to try to remember, and the closer we get to God, we start to remember, right? Until then, you might get a nudge here and there about what you're supposed to be doing. But if you're paying attention, you'll get it. If you're not paying attention, you'll just ignore it, which a lot of us do, including myself. I've done that in the past. So then when things happen, we're wondering why they're happening to us.
Right.
And they said, masters teach us, well, the only reason why you're thinking about why it's happening to you and why you might be looking at other people as the cause of these things happening to you is because you've forgotten what your contract is. You forgot what you agreed to before you embodied into this lifetime. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking to see what somebody else has done that could be affecting you. Which, by the way, nothing somebody does can affect you, right?
Right.
You
right.
choose.
We
you're the
choose
one
to
that's-
allow things
exactly,
to affect us.
right? So that's the way the Ascended Masters present that to us, that we are the masters of our own universe, and we control what happens in our universe.
Okay, so for someone who was born into a family and the parents are just outright mean to the kid,
Your perception.
my
see?
perception.
Remember the plank in the
Okay,
eye.
if I was the kid, the perception is that my parents are just downright mean to me.
Right.
Always comparing me to people, always trying to push me to do things that I don't want to do. So you're telling me that I'm of course I see it as it's my parents doing that, but that's part of a contract that I wanted then as that child and
Not wanted, you agreed to.
that I agreed to, and that's why that's happening. So then we really shouldn't be blaming other people for anything, because that could be the same thing for anyone we meet anywhere. Maybe a teacher at school or a mentor in business. If they're
Not might, that's what it is. It's not a maybe, that's nobody comes into your life by accident. Even when you meet somebody, you're walking down the street, you meet somebody, you say hello. You just balanced some karma, or created karma if you were mean to the person, right? If you had this thought, a person looks dirty, you just created karma because you just insulted somebody. So every person comes into your life for a reason. Every person. So it's not by accident at all.
all right. So then, what about if my perception is something bad happened to me, like a bullying type situation? Isn't that the other person's fault? I'm the victim.
Based on the plank in your eye, you're the victim. That would be my favorite line on this video.
So then I should be looking at it from the standpoint that I'm not a victim and these people are bullying me, but I'm supposed to learn something from it to be able to grow and move on.
No, that's no. First of all, the moment you say somebody's bullying you, then you still don't get the point. Because nobody's bullying you.
Even though people are, I perceive people to be mean to me,
See, again, that's the thing.
it's perception.
It's perception. You perceive them to be mean to you. Yeah, you perceive the parents to be mean to the kid. Now, does that mean that they're not hitting the kid or abusing the kid or who knows what else
Right, I was
they're
just
doing?
about to ask that. What if they're hitting you and physically hurting you?
In our world, this physical world or this human world, we call that abuse. Right? We call it whatever it might be, even called Department of Child.
Child welfare
Okay,
department.
that one, you call that. Because those are put in place to try to protect people, right? Protect kids.
Right.
But that's in this physical world. The people that put those laws in place, they don't understand the laws of the universe. They don't understand the laws of the spiritual realm.
Okay.
All right. So, for example, let's say you're up there, you haven't embodied yet, and you said, "Well, in this lifetime, I want to learn my lesson about being loving, about being forgiving, because in a previous lifetime, I was not." And then they tell you, "Well, when you get down there, the parents that you've chosen, they'll be mean to you." And you know that the reason why they're being mean to you is because you have to learn to love unconditionally. That no matter what anybody does to you, you will love them unconditionally. There is no hatred. Because that's the lesson you're supposed to learn in this lifetime.
Wow.
So now here you are, you chose these parents, you know how they're going to treat you, before you even embody. So you come and you embody, and they're just downright mean to you based on what we perceive. And even you, because if you've forgotten, and when I say you, I don't mean you, but
A general you.
Exactly.
Yes.
You've forgotten the contract that you signed, that these parents are supposed to treat you that way because that's how you're going to balance your karma, you're thinking they're being mean to you too, and you want to run away, right? Who knows? You might even fight back. That's just because the reality that we see, the perception that we have. But if we were to approach it from the standpoint of, okay, what if this is what I signed up for? You know, I know that more than likely I came here for a purpose. And if this is what I'm going through, then I have to grow beyond this. This is going to help me develop into being a better person. I'm going to forgive them no matter what. Now, does that mean you have to stay there for your whole life? No. Right? But as a kid, you have nowhere to go. So you're there, you pray to God, and guess what? Even though they might abuse you, you've signed that contract, but if you talk to your guides and Archangel Michael, because you're closer to God, that will get reduced because it will help you with it. Because the closer you get to God, the more things will get revealed to you that will make your life easier.
What if the kid is in the home with the parents who don't go to church and who don't believe in God and who don't teach you about God?
I know a lot of individuals that have been with parents that are not even spiritual, but the kid is. See, again, that goes back to you, the individual, knowing your purpose, or at least somehow you're following that voice in your head that says, you know, there's a God, just follow somehow, and then you do it. Yeah, I know myself. My mom didn't really believe in God. She didn't go to church often, you know, but I went, and it's probably because you had to go when you were in my school. Otherwise, you'd be in trouble. I don't know, but that's the other thing. You might wind up in a situation like my situation, where, let's say, because my mom didn't go to church often, she really didn't go to church often. But the school that I went to was a Catholic school, so it was required that we had to attend church, right? And that's how I got my religious experience. That's how I got my knowledge. So one way or the other, you know, they try to work things out to make it easier for you. Make sense? And the time came when I could have gone to a different school, and I said, no, I want to stay here. So that was probably a test to see, do you want to go? And where I was going to go was not, they don't want to deal with religion, you know, but I said, no, I want to be where the religion is. So I didn't put it that way, but that's how it happened.
Got it. I know for myself, when I was in 6th grade, I started getting bullied, and this group of boys, we're a gang basically, and they called me all kinds of names, even, you know, the dark guy down there where we don't want to mention. And it really bothered me. I would tell the teachers, I would tell the counselors. Then 6th grade ended. I thought, okay, 7th grade is about to begin, new classes, some new kids, everything will be different. But it was still the same, and it got worse. And I still did what I was supposed to do. I told the teachers, I told the guidance counselors, I told everybody in the school. We talked to them, and it continued and continued until one day I just finally blew up in class. And the vice principal was subbing that day, and I just had it. And I stood up and I yelled at the kids, and I yelled at the principal for the vice principal for not doing anything. And then after that, it was done. Everything was done. Then they didn't bully me anymore.
So what lesson did you learn from that?
I had to stand up for myself.
Bingo.
Because then it repeated again in high school. It wasn't to the same degree.
But you get the point, right?
And I had to do it again.
And I could bet, and I know a lot about you, but we don't talk a lot about that part of your life.
Right.
I can almost assure you that throughout your life, even before I met you, you probably had a lot of situations where you found yourself where people were taking advantage of you. And you either chose to defend yourself, or you let them run over. What do they call it?
Walk over you.
Walk over you. Did that happen?
Oh, yes.
Exactly. So then what was part of your purpose in this lifetime, now that you know that?
To stand up for myself.
To stand up for yourself. Get it? Now, in the past, there was people as they mean, the teachers didn't listen and they were being mean, but no, you signed a contract with them, and their job was to force you to step up and speak up. And they were going to do everything they needed to do to keep their part of the bargain alive. If they didn't do that, they're not helping you to grow. They're not keeping the terms of their contract. So
Right.
they're not being mean, they're doing what they're supposed to. If you look at it from the standpoint of this is your responsibility, you signed on for that.
Right.
You know? So that's what I mean by, take on the responsibility. No matter what happens to you, you're the one that decided that you were ready for this and you can handle it.
Wow, I'm so glad I did that. I didn't keep that what I call a victim mindset and just say, "Oh, woe is me. This keeps happening. Oh my gosh," and being, pitying myself all the time. And I'm very glad that I actually stood up so that this can be done in this lifetime.
Right.
So-
And don't think it will stop. It will continue because that's what you're supposed to do in this lifetime. Just because you did it once or twice doesn't mean it will stop. Now it will become less each time because you're dealing with it. And then finally, hopefully, it will just go away. And that's just one aspect of your life. There are other aspects where you'll see the same kind of thing where you have to step up, But that's where we took responsibility and said, no, I'm ready for it. Just let me have it.
Yeah, let me grow.
Exactly. And when you say that, then you'll be put in situations where you'll be challenged to grow. And again, you'll decide if you'll just stay there and cry about it and blame people and say, they're so mean to me, they should take better care of me. And
It's all their fault.
Exactly. Or there's the switch goes off, and hopefully the switch goes off for a lot of people with this video, and then you say, wait a minute, even if I don't believe in karma and re-embodiment, what if it's really true? Maybe I should start looking at it from the standpoint of, okay, I did agree to this, and every time something comes up that I know is challenging me in whatever way, I now need to remember, okay, I signed up for this, and guess what? I'm facing it. I'm getting over this. It's not about what they're doing to me, because nobody's doing anything to you. It's about how you interpret it. And if you look at it as, okay, if somebody's abusing you, then stop the abuse. You can, now you don't go fighting with them,
Right.
but there are ways to do it. Stand up for yourself somehow, and let Archangel Michael do the fighting for you. It's a great one to do it. So there are different ways to handle it. We have individuals that maybe, during a marriage that's not too great, at least you don't think it's great.
Right.
You should ask yourself, why am I in this marriage? And as the Ascended Masters taught us in the Catholic faith, you don't just go and divorce somebody, right? It's not really allowed, even though people do it now, but it's not really allowed that much. The reason for that is because when you get married, you're combining karma, you're supposed to balance it together, so get it over with. And if you walk away from that, then there's a good chance you might have to come back and deal with it again. But then you signed up for it. Got it? So if you look at it from the standpoint of, okay, I agreed before I came into this lifetime that I was going to get married to this person, and this person is going to help me grow. And they'll do some crazy stuff, but I have to be ready for it. When you take that approach, then okay, whatever they're doing, it's not going to bother me, because I know that it's a challenge for me to grow.
Okay.
Right? So no matter what it is, you're being bullied around, you deal with it, but don't look at yourself as a victim, or they're bullying me. Those are all terms that people here on earth came up with.
Right.
Because not too many people want to take responsibility for what's happening to them. They'd rather deflect it somewhere else. But in the spiritual realm, we've been taught that everything comes down to us. We're the ones that agree to these things. And I know it sounds mean, because I know individuals that have been through some
Horrible things.
really horrible things, right? But that's just the way it is. It's something that you've chosen. And then it makes you stronger. So if you've dealt with things, that are just really bad, then you know how strong you are. Yeah? Because you have to be strong to handle some of these things that we sign up for. Like, holy mackerel, how did I even survive that? You're really strong. And so instead of doubting yourself, look back at the things that you've gotten over and realize, if I got over that, I can deal with anything. And then you approach everything with that mentality. It's like you standing up in school and
Yelling.
exactly.
In the middle of class.
But even to a vice principal,
Yes.
to do that as a kid, that shows you how strong you are and how brave you are. So you should not be afraid of anything. You should let anything bother you because you're really, really strong. You might not realize how strong you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to you about what you did, but I'm also talking to anybody watching this video, because anybody can go back and look at a situation in their lives to this point
Mm-hmm.
where they had to step up and do something. And if they haven't so far, then it's time to do so. And we're not talking about in an argumentative way. You can do it in a very polite way.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to start speaking up and standing up for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it
I
sounds
don't-
like everything you've described is very much like the Christian saying that I've heard so many times, that God doesn't give us more than we can handle.
That's correct.
And really it's our own selves giving us something that we're challenging ourselves to do to grow in this life. So it really isn't something that we cannot handle.
That's right.
We can handle
You
it.
can handle it.
We just have to change our perception of it.
Take the plank out of our eyes
That's right.
and see clearly.
Yes, see clearly and not the dust in your neighbor's eye.
That's correct.
Please, if this has helped you, share it with someone else, and we will see you in the next video.